What's going on, guys? Balkan Architect here, and in today's tutorial we're going to be talking about kitchens in Revit. I'm actually going to be showing you a couple of approaches when it comes to creating kitchens in Revit. The first approach is going to be utilizing some of the native Revit families that you get with the default library that you get alongside with Revit, and I'm just going to be showing you kind of step by step how to use those families to assemble a kitchen inside of Revit. Now that approach does have some limitations, mainly in terms of the families that you're using are going to kind of restrict you to a certain style of kitchen cabinetry, and in case you want to do something a bit more advanced, well, then that brings us to our second version, and the second kitchen that we're going to be building inside of this video is going to be using a third-party software, a plugin called the RCCS, which stands for Real-Time Custom Cabinetry System for Revit, and this is going to allow us to create a very kind of modern kitchen. It's going to allow us to have maximum flexibility, so we can create pretty much anything that we might want to create when it comes to kitchens or any other type of cabinetry inside of Revit. Now when it comes to this plugin, if you're interested, you can check it out on my website, balkanarchitect.com. I'm going to link it up just below this video in the description, and then also up in the cards above. Apart from this plugin, you can check out my Revit courses. I have numerous courses covering numerous topics. One of those topics is kitchens in Revit. I actually have an entire course just dedicated to this topic, so if you're interested in that, you can check it out. And of course there are many other courses that you might be interested in. Okay, so with this kind of introduction out of the way, let's now jump straight into Revit and let's create our first kitchen. So to create our first kitchen, I'm just going to go here to Models. I'm going to go to New. And for the template file, I'm going to be using my custom Balkan Architect template. Now this template is available on my website, as I said, balkanarchitect.com. I'm going to link it up in the cards above. If you're interested in any of my templates, you can find them there. Now the reason I'm using this template is because it already has custom cabin, or it already has cabinetry elements loaded in, so that's kind of going to save us time, so we don't have to go and load in each family individually. So if I go here to components, with this particular template, you can see that here, if I scroll down a little bit, here we have all of the cabinets that we're going to be using. These are very similar to regular cabinetry in Revit. I did make some modifications to these in order to improve them for the template, but now before I actually get started, I'm just going to be showing you where to find those families if you're doing this by using the regular template in Revit. So when you go here to the Insert tab and go to Load Family, that's going to bring up your family library. So here, if I scroll down a little bit, here we have Casework, and if I open that up, here you will see that we have base cabinets. So if I just select the first one and then use the arrow keys, I can go down and just explore all of the cabinetry elements that we have available here. So you can use those for base cabinets. Obviously you have countertops, so you can choose one of these existing countertops, so that's one. Let's go back. Here we have the tall cabinets if you want to use something like that, and then finally we have the wall mounted cabinets. So this is usually for those kind of upper cabinets that you might want to include. So that's where you can find all of the casework. If you're looking for electronics, if you're looking for all of the appliances for the kitchen, if you scroll down here, you have specialty equipment, and there you have, as you can see, you have for classrooms, which we don't need, but domestic is what we're looking for. So if I open that up, here we can see we have some high-end and some mid-range ones. So if I open one of these up, here we can see we have some cooktops, dishwashers, dryers, ovens, refrigerators, washing machines, and so on. So you can pretty much find anything that you need for creating simple basic kitchens in Revit here in the kind of default family library. So feel free to find the families there and then load them in, and then you can follow along. Okay, so let me show you here on a simple example. I'm just going to go here to the wall tool first to give some background to our kitchen. I'm going to be using this generic 400mm wall, and this is going to be kind of an L-shaped kitchen, so let's create an L-shaped wall. Just like that, and now let's get started. So I like to start off in the floor plan view, so I'm just going to zoom in a little bit like this, and then I like to start from the corner. So I can go here to components, and then let me see if I have some corner components. Well, actually I know I do. So if I scroll down here, we should have, there we go. So we have some corner units. I'm just going to go with this one. So yeah, let's use that one, for example. I like the ones that can have that 45-degree cut, so I can place that one here. And then let's move on. Let's place, for example, some other components. So here we have, okay, here we have the sink unit. So let's go with one of those, perhaps this 1000mm sink unit, or perhaps even the 1200mm sink unit could work. There we go. And then as you can see here, when you come to place it, it's usually going to give you these snaps. So you just want to kind of snap it in place just like that. And let's go to the other side. So here you can see that we have these built-in cabinets. These are meant for built-in elements, for example, an oven. So I'm actually going to be using that one. So let's go with this one here. I hit the space key to rotate, and then let's snap it in place here. And then let's see, what else do we have? Perhaps something with drawers, something like that. Okay, here we go. We have 4 drawers, 500mm. I think that will work on this side. There we go. So this is kind of starting to take shape. Let's add just one more cabinet here on this side, so we can have something a bit more regular, like a single door cabinet, again 500mm, and then let's snap it in place there. Now let's open up the 3D view just to see what that looks like. So here we go, and this is basically what we have. Obviously it's opened up on the top because we need to place a countertop on top of that. So let's go back here into level 1, then let's go to component, and let's search for our countertops. So countertops are here below, and I want to use an L-shaped one, and here we have an option with a sink, or we can use this one with a sink hole, and then we can pick out our own sink. So let's use that one. And then I'm just going to place it here in a corner. So it's going to look like that. Here we can see that sinkhole. And now if I select this, you will see that this is basically what it looks like, and it doesn't kind of overlap perfectly. So what you can do is go back here into level 1, and then you can select it, and you can use these sliders in order to resize it. Or an alternative approach would be to go to the Modify tab and then use the Align tool. AL is the shortcut, and then you can just kind of align those things, and as you can see now, it all fits perfectly. There we go. Okay, now let's kind of finish this up by adding the sink and some appliances. So what I'm going to do here is go to my, let's go here to level 1 actually. Let's go to architecture component. Let's search for a sink. So instead of kind of having to scroll down, you can always search here. So if I type in sink, I should be able to see something. So there we go. We have the sink. Let's go with a double sink. There we go. Perfect. And then let's place it right there. Hit the escape key a few times. Now if I go to the 3D view, you can see that the opening doesn't fit the sink, and again, this is part of the countertop. So you can select that countertop, and here we have these little grip points, and then we can just stretch out that opening a little bit in order to match the sink. So just stretch it out. There we go. And if I go back to the 3D view, now as you can see, the opening matches our sink. And finally, let's do the cooktop as well as the oven. So for the oven, perhaps first let's do that. Again, let's open up the drop menu here, and then let's search for oven. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Built-in oven, 600mm. That's perfect. Hit the space key to flip it around, and then here you just want to make sure you align it properly, just like that. The escape key a few times, and don't worry if you miss, and I think I've missed here. Don't worry, you can always go back to the 3D view, and I like to kind of make sure that everything aligns perfectly in the 3D view. So I'm just going to come in here to the 3D view. Obviously it's way down, so let's give it an elevation from level. Let's give it an offset. So I'm just going to go with 0.23 centimeters. Oops, this my keyboard is, yeah, so let's go with 0.23. I think that will give us the proper height. There we go. And then obviously you can just use the arrow keys to nudge it in place, but I think it's fine like this. So there we go. We have our oven, and then finally for the cooktop, we can go here to component and we can search for a cooktop. Let's see. Okay, we have electric or gas. Let's go with the gas, for example, for this one. And you'll see it says here place on face. You can go with place on work plane, but place on face does the job really good. And when it highlights that countertop face, that's good. See how it has that blue outline? And I'm just going to hit the space key to kind of flip it around, and then I can place it right in that spot. And then of course you can use the arrow keys to kind of nudge it in the correct position. And then finally, if you want to add a fridge or something like that, you can always go back to level 1, zoom out, component, and let's go here to the refrigerator. There we go. And let's use, these ones are built in, so let's use the side-by-side one, the one that has enough space for everything, all of your food. Okay, and there we go. So now we have the fridge there, and if I go to the 3D view, there we go. So we have a fairly complete kitchen. Now, a quick pro tip, you might be annoyed with all of these signs that you have, this oven and cooktop and so on. So if you select the cooktop, usually there's a parameter somewhere, either in edit type, so here in the type properties, or in the regular instance properties. So here, as you can see, we have this show label, and if I uncheck that and hit apply, click OK, now it doesn't show that. Same thing goes with the oven. So if I go here into edit type, again we have show label, I can uncheck that if I don't want to see that, and now it looks nicer in the floor plan view. So that's something that you can kind of set up really easily. And there we go. That's how you create a quick little kitchen. Now for the upper cabinets, again, it's the same story as for the bottom cabinets, but I do want to show you a quick little kind of pro tip again, and that has to do with this automatic line-based cabinetry family. So this is something that I've created in a course. So I have this whole family editor course where I show you how to create this line-based cabinet family. I'm going to link up the entire family editor for Revit course up there in the cards above, so make sure to check it out if you're interested. So basically what this does, it allows you to kind of find a surface like this here, and then you can basically host your cabinets just like a line. So you drag out a line, and then wherever you place that line, it's going to create cabinets. The longer the line, more cabinets that you have, or the shorter the line, less cabinets you have. So it's kind of a really quick way of placing these upper cabinets on your walls. Let's make this a bit smaller. There we go. And then of course we can kind of nudge it in place. Doesn't matter, this is just a quick demonstration. And then also if you want to change out the glass, you can by going here to edit type, and then we have the glass window parameter. If I apply that, now as you can see it's no longer glass. So it's just a cool little thing that you might want to check out. So anyways, there you go. That's how you can create this kind of simple kitchen in Revit. You are, as I said, limited by the elements. You can see that here for this casework, we're pretty much limited to this. We cannot really pick out a different style or something like that. We would have to search for different families for that. And when it comes to creating custom kitchens, usually you don't kind of search for finished elements, you can draw it out yourself. So in order to do something like that, we have to use third-party software, or in this case the RCCS plugin for Revit, and that's what I'm going to be showing you now. And here we are. So I'm going to be showing you now the advanced method. So as you can see here, I am on the RCCS tab. So when you install the plugin, you get this entire tab, and you can see that we have many different tools that we can use. So to get us started, let's first explore how does this plugin work and what's the whole approach. Well, the approach is something very similar to what you would use if you weren't using Revit. So if you were using AutoCAD or any other software, you would usually go to the elevation view, and then you would kind of sketch out what the kitchen would look there. Kind of makes sense, right? You wouldn't go to the floor plan view first, perhaps for some basic just kind of layout settings, but for everything else you would go in the elevation views. And that's exactly what the RCCS allows us to do for our kitchens or any other cabinetry that we might want to create. So here I have just placed this wall in the center, and let me now open up the elevation view that kind of looks at that wall. There we go. So here we have our wall. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be kind of sketching out my kitchen. So here on the RCCS host wall setout, here we have the line tool, and this is just kind of the basic detail line in Revit. Here I'm just going to set it up to regular lines, and then I'm going to start sketching. So first let's kind of set the height of our our counter. Then I want to have a refrigerator here, for example, so I can go, I don't know, like 1000 millimeters or something like that, and then I can create my refrigerator here. Then we can kind of make this a bit smaller. And then we can now continue working. So I would just go and copy this line down, value perhaps 40 millimeters for the thickness of that counter, and then I would just continue, just go back to lines, and now continue kind of sketching out our kitchen. So I'm just going to speed this up because obviously it doesn't make too much sense for you to view kind of each line that I place here. And here, as you can see, I have kind of sketched out my kitchen in the elevation view. Here we have the refrigerator, here we have some cabinetry. This is kind of the cabinets below the sink, so sink goes here. Here we can have our cooktop, perhaps oven here on the bottom, and so on. Obviously you can use lines. For example, if you want to add some drawers here, you can just kind of add drawers just like that, and so on. So you can kind of play around and add additional elements. Here I want to kind of have an open shelf, and then the rest of these would be regular cabinets. So once we have sketched out the kitchen, then it's time to apply the wall. So what do I mean when I say the wall? And here we have the wall tool. Well, the wall really has to do with the curtain wall tool in Revit, because this whole plugin is based on the curtain wall in Revit, because it uses the curtain wall functionality in order to create all of the cabinets, all of the appliances, and so on. So what you want to do is go here into level 1, zoom in here, here's our wall, and then I'm just going to click here on the wall tool. But before I do that, in the data entry, I just want to place level 1 because it's on that level 1 where we want to host that wall. So then when I click on the wall, it's going to create a simple wall here on the screen. Okay, I guess I didn't hit the enter key. Okay, there we go. When you hit the enter key, then it works. I forgot to hit the enter key, and then it didn't work. Anyways, here we have a wall. Basically, it starts off with 4 walls because it assumes that you want a 4-wall kitchen. Obviously, we just want 1 wall, so I'm just going to kind of place this here at the corner, delete the walls that I don't need, and then this wall that's left, I'm going to stretch it out to kind of capture the entire wall where we have our kitchen. Now when we go back here to our elevation, as you can see, this is that wall, and then I'm just going to make it a bit smaller to kind of fit the kitchen. And here, as you can see, it's a curtain wall. It's just a simple curtain wall. And now we want to use this sketch in order to create all of these divisions as curtain wall grids. So you can do that by going here to the grid tool. Just click on the grid tool, and now you can create these divisions. So I like to use the one segment for most of these, so let's add this one here, and then you're just going to want to follow some sort of a approach where you're going to do the main ones first. Yeah, here we probably want that kickboard or whatever you call it on the bottom, so let's include that. So even if you forget something, you can add it later on. So here we want to have a few of these vertical ones. So let's add it like that. Now once you add these vertical grids, if you try to add a new grid here on top of the for this one here, as you can see, it's completely aligned with the one on the bottom. It's not going to allow you to. You can kind of put it off to the side. Oops, let's go back. I didn't want that. I wanted just one segment. So yeah, it's not going to allow you to place it here exactly on that one. So if you want to have them aligned, you have to select that same line, go to add remove segments, and then just add that segment over here. Now here we have an issue where we have this grid line and we essentially don't want it. Now if I were to delete it, it's going to sometimes give me all sorts of trouble. So the best way to delete grid lines when you add them and you don't want them anymore is to select the entire wall, stretch it out a little bit, and then select that grid line, pull it all the way on the outside of that kind of wall where you stretched it out, and then you delete it, and then you make the wall smaller. So that's just a little pro tip in order to kind of make this process as streamlined as possible. So anyways, now I'm going to add this segment here, and I'm just going to do the same thing for the rest of these to basically replace these detail lines with actual curtain grids. Okay, so I have now completed the kitchen in terms of the grid lines. So as you can see here, we have these upper cabinets. This is going to be the side-by-side refrigerator. Here we have some drawers and so on. So here we have kind of our basic kitchen layout done with all of the grids. I have to move this one up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so once we have this created, now you can go one of two ways. So you can just go and start assigning all of these elements here. So you can assign your cabinetry, lower, middle, upper, pantry, drawers, shelves, infills, and all of the other elements. Or something that's even more exciting, if I go to the 3D view, you can actually use an AI to do the job for you. So here we have this AI function, and if I expand that menu, you can see that you can actually pick out, do you want a modern kitchen, a classic kitchen, a modern cabinetry, classic cabinetry, a space frame shelf, which is also cool, and then we have some sample AI projects. So this, as you can see here, this is the beta testing version, so it's still kind of in testing, and I found that if you follow the guidelines which you get when you install this plugin, if you follow the guidelines, it can actually do the job for you really well. I usually don't follow the guidelines because I have my own kind of ideas in terms of my kitchen designs, and in this case I didn't follow the guidelines perfectly, but I just want to show you that even if you don't follow them, when you go here and let's actually use this, so let's go with a modern kitchen, even if you don't follow the guidelines perfectly, it's still going to pretty much get the job done for you. Not all of it, it's not going to be perfect, but it is going to do kind of most of the work for you. So let's see what that does. It does take a little bit for it to kind of do all of its calculations, but once it's done, it looks amazing. And this is the result that we get. So as you can see, it did a fairly good job. Obviously it missed. Here I wanted a refrigerator, and here we have a shelf, things like that, but the upper cabinetry looks really good. Here we have here this backsplash. We have the we have basically the bench top, washing machine, some drawers, and so on. So the kickboard on the bottom. So we pretty much have all of the basic elements here, and now it's just kind of fine-tuning to complete these. So what I would do now is here, for example, for the refrigerator, I want actually gaps here, so I'm going to go with this void function and then click on those two. So let's click on that one, and it's just going to create a gap there. Click on this one, so it's going to create a gap there. And one thing to note, if you work like this in this 3D view mode, it is going to make things a little bit slower. So what you can do is hit the escape key a few times and then switch from 3D to 2D mode. So it's just going to kind of drop these back in, so you're not going to see actual 3D cabinetry, but you will see these little kind of code names for all of these. So now let's fix what we need to fix. So I want to have here, let's go with the bottom one. I want to have two doors here for this part, and I just want to assign the depth, which is 580 millimeters, and we click on that. Oh, I didn't hit the enter key, so I keep forgetting that. Enter, and now let's see. Oops, I have to pick out the two doors. There we go. And now when I click, there we go, we have that. Then here I want to have some sort of a open shelf. So first I'm going to select this part here just to see the depth, which is 350. Okay, so I can enter here 350, hit enter, and then go with shelf. Okay, so I want this box shelf front, click, and there we go. So I can just go like that. Here we have the dishwasher. We have two dishwashers, which usually you don't want to have. So what I'm going to do is here, for example, I'm going to add remove segments. Let's add one more segment here. So this is now a, oh, this is a dishwasher. I don't want that. So let's go to a drawer, one handle drawer, and the depth should be 580, enter. Click on that. So as you can see, it's really quick to do. Then I want cook, so I want oven base, again same depth, click, there we go, we have that oven. And so you can kind of continue like this. Let's just do the fridge as well, and these two upper cabinets. So that should be upper cabinet, hinge on the left, the depth, let's go with no, let's go with 450, enter. Oops, keep forgetting that. Okay, so let's do that here. Okay, and then finally let's go for the fridge. So actually we can just use the, yeah, let's use fridge left door. The depth can be 600 or 700. Usually fridges are a little bit deeper, so let's go with that. And then I want the fridge left here. Okay, there we go. I think I've done everything now correctly. So let's see if I did actually everything correctly. So I'm just going to switch this back to 3D mode. It is again going to take a few seconds, but then it's going to kind of show us our kitchen and the changes that we have made. You can obviously start making the changes in the 3D view kind of as a beginning. It is going to be a little slower, but it is going to make it a little easier for you to make those changes quicker. But once you get the hang of it, it's a lot easier to do to work in 2D mode, because it's just going to be a lot quicker. And here we go, this is the result. So we have our fridge, we have our oven here, we have all of the cabinets, we have this kind of open shelving, so I really like that. And then obviously we can add some additional things, so we can play around here, we can add a waste bin, picture frame if we want that. Let's see, here for additional elements here, let's add a sink. So let's use a double door, let's use a single tub perhaps. Single tub sink, and then I can place it there, for example. Yeah, there we go. So we have our sink in place. Then then I think we should see here, okay, the cooktop. So let's go with the cooktop number 2, for example. Place it, oops, this one is large. Is the second one smaller? Let's hope so. And it is. Okay, let's place that here. There we go. So we have our cooktop, we have our sink. Actually, if I go to level 1, maybe it would make more sense to flip the sink to the other side. And keep in mind that here, if you're in the detail level course, it's not going to show everything. You have to switch to fine. But I don't need that right now, because I can just kind of move my sink here. Yeah, place it like that, a little bit away from this. There we go, perfect, and we have some space in between. So you can add elements like that. You can add things like, let's see, do we have anything else that we can add here? Yeah, ice maker. Let's add an ice maker to our fridge. That would be cool. There we go, I like that. And there we go. Now if I switch this to realistic, let's see what that would look like. So when you switch to realistic, it's just going to, let's see. Okay, there we go. So this is what we have right now, and then we can of course test it out with different some different color combinations. So let's go to shaded, for example. Yeah, that's going to make it a little bit easier on my computer. So I'm just going to go here to style, and then as you can see, we have wood style, we have a kind of a combination of two, and so on. So you can kind of play around with these. So for example, if we want to have like this kind of wood on the bottom and then white on top, we can just kind of choose the style there and then apply that to our entire kitchen. So as you can see, possibilities are endless, and here we can just quickly kind of with a few clicks we can make major changes to this kitchen, but it still gives us kind of ultimate customization of all of the elements that we have here, and we can kind of fine-tune everything that we want to fine-tune. If I want to paint, I can use the paint tool and then select any of the elements here and paint them the way that I want, and I can customize everything further by using the modification tools and so on. So there we go. That's how you can create a kitchen by using the RCCS plugin. I would like to encourage you to check out this plugin on my website. As I said, the link is going to be up in the up in the cards above, and then also below in the description. If you get the plugin, you also get a quick course where I actually go step by step, and I have multiple videos showing you how to create different elements and how to actually create a kitchen. I show you how I model my own kitchen in Revit by using the RCCS plugin. So make sure to check it out if you're interested. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope you have learned something new. Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to check out my website, balkanarchitect.com, for more Revit courses. There I have over 120 hours of content, and I'm adding more each week. Make sure to subscribe for more videos, and also I've added a video over there that might interest you as well.